Hello and welcome to Level Up with LEDVANCE. I'm Lynette Schaefer, the Director of Training, and today I'm going to be going over LEDVANCE's LED downlight solutions. But first, let's talk about how LED downlights have changed from traditional downlights because they've made some big improvements. So first of all, this is a side-by-side comparison of a traditional downlight and also an LED downlight. So you probably recall traditional downlights have a housing, they have a trim, and they also have a baffle, and many times they are all individual separate parts and components when it comes to traditional type of technology. That is not the case anymore with LED downlights. So LED downlights, in many cases, they come in one complete unit where the LED engine, the chips, the driver, everything is all part of the unit, and you don't have to worry about having multiple components. So that's a big difference between traditional downlights and LED downlights. Now, of course, not all LED downlights look like this one, okay? They can also take on a couple of different looks and a couple of different names as well. So we've got the micro disc or the wafer. The micro disc is basically this guy here. It kind of looks like a disc, hence the reason why we call it a micro disc. It's got the J box and the driver as a separate unit here, okay? And then, of course, you also have your wafer. A lot of people refer to this as a wafer because it kind of looks like a wafer, right? So you've got this one, that's the wafer. And then, of course, you also have your LED can light that is more of a retrofit. So to give you an idea, this typically would have a screw-in medium base like this one right here, okay? So that's your LED retrofit can. So they can take on a lot of different looks, but all in all, all of these have everything kind of combined as one unit, which is really kind of nice. Now, the other thing that you need to kind of think about when it comes to downlights is how they install. So there are three different types of main installations. Retrofit into an existing housing. You can use also a remodel type situation with a canless design. You can also put it in a new construction, or you can have kind of a direct wire approach. So the one that you're seeing me change out right now is a traditional retrofit where I have a can in place. I take out the trim, I take out the lamp, and then I take a retrofit downlight like this, and I screw it into that socket and then simply push it up into that existing housing and that existing can. So that's one easy, simple way, but you do need to have a can there in order to make that happen. The next one after that is the canless design. So the canless design typically will install from below the ceiling in applications where the ceiling, you just can't get access to it. Maybe there's a drywall ceiling, you can't get up inside there. And what usually happens is that you make your electrical connection in a box like this, that's usually part of the LED downlight. You make your connection through here. This goes up inside the ceiling cavity, and then these clips are used to position the light in place, all right? Sometimes you do need a pan in order to keep that position. I'll get into that in just a little bit. The last one is the direct wire, and direct wires is typically used for new construction. Usually it's when visible joists are there that you can see. That's why we say it's new construction. And what happens is you put something like this in between those joists. This is a J box. And what happens is that you have power coming into the J box, and then you take something like this wafer and you make your electrical connections inside this box, and then you attach this directly to the J box. Super simple, easy installation. All you need to do is just take the lens off of the wafer. You match up the holes with the J box to the holes that are in the downlight. And then you obviously make your electrical connection and then put your lens back on like so. So that's basically how that works. Pretty easy design, but just know that there are three different installations depending upon the application. So get to know what kind of application, whether it's new construction, if it's a remodel or a retrofit, and that'll help you kind of decide which one's best for you. Now, something else to consider with commercial versus residential installations is that with commercial applications, a mounting pan may be required. It's just basically based on the local jurisdiction. Some do require it, some don't require it, but there is something that's called the pan, and this is what it looks like. I just want to share that information with you. And then, of course, some contractors, not too many, still prefer or still like to use a traditional housing. These can still be bought Some contractors still buy them, and then they put in an LED kind of retrofit downlight. That is certainly an option too. Personally, my preference is to go with something like this, if you have the opportunity to do it, or something like this wafer. It tends to work out pretty well, and you don't have to worry about having a can that way. Okay. There's also some different trims associated with downlight. So as you can see on this slide, there's open trims to gimbal trims. Typically when a gimbal is used, or some people will call it an eyeball is used, it's to highlight artwork, because you can really kind of move that light to exactly where you want it, which makes it kind of clever and nice. The other thing that's nice about some of these trims that we have now is that some of them just snap on. So like this one here, if you want to change the color of this trim to say black, it literally just snaps on. It's like, well, actually, it's not that this is magnetized. So like that, and I just changed that trim to a black trim. It allows it to be customized for the application. This is another one. This is the wafer. So this is another idea. You put that on, and then there's these little clips that you just clip over. And we have this in a couple of different colors here. So, and this is kind of true with a lot of our trims. So you get to pick what color you want. If you don't like white, you can customize it to something else. The other thing too there's different baffles. So this one here is a baffle. Okay, you can see that like so. Some of them are a smooth baffle. Let's see if I can get this one. Here's a smooth baffle, right? So it's, again, personal preference, what you like, what the customer likes. That's what really truly matters on these. Let's see. Oh, and then I guess that was oh, and then also there's different reflectors as well. So when we start looking at the reflectors, you can have semi-specular, you can have just a white, or you can have also the specular as well. It's just personal preference. This one particularly that I'm holding up is kind of cool because it just magnetizes itself right directly in there. So super simple, easy install, which is what everybody likes these days. So really the difference between these is that the specular reflector is going to have more of a defined cone, while a white reflector won't. It'll kind of spread the light out a little bit more. Okay. The other thing to consider are IC ratings and non-IC ratings. Basically what this slide is saying is that some downlights can come directly into contact with insulation and some can't. So always look on the spec sheet. Is typically marked under features as to whether or not the downlight can physically come into contact with insulation. Most people like to use those that can come in contact with insulation because it just helps with saving money over time, because one, you don't have to remove the insulation, but two, you're also keeping that nice and secured for any air movement that you might need. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind too. And then, of course, we have to think about dry, damp, and wet. Those are the most common ratings for downlights. So the NEC and the UL have definitions for dry, damp, and wet location. You can Google this. I think the easiest way to explain it is that wet is inside the shower, damp is outside the shower, and of course, dry is not anywhere near the shower. That's the easiest way that I've always been able to remember it. Just know that every downlight will have a dry, a damp, a wet location. And so keep an eye out for that as well, because you don't want to put a downlight into an application that it's not suitable for. So now that we know all the things we need to consider when it comes to downlights, let's go over some of LEDVANCE's downlight portfolio. So for new construction featuring the canless design, we have 4 options. Each has their own special thing that sets them apart from one to the other. And that's basically what I'm going to focus on this presentation. Of course, if you want to get into strict details about any of these, you can always go out to ledvanceus.com, click on downlights, and you can get access to all of the spec sheets. So this first one is the RT5A. Now, this is pretty amazing because it comes in so many sizes, 4-inch all the way up to, I think it's 10 inches. They also have multiple wattage selectable options and CCT selectable options located right here on the back of the luminaire. This is also available in 0 to 10 volt dimming, and I know that because there are the wires right there. It also is available in multiple voltages, and it also has a field installable emergency battery backup. Plus, you'll notice that this one also includes the whip that also kind of helps and aids in a little bit quicker installation. So this is the first one for new construction that we wanted to talk about. The next one up is the MicroDisc 3A. So this is a really cool product because it too comes in multiple sizes, 3-inch all the way to 12-inch. It does have multiple fixed wattages, 5 CCTC selectable options found right on the driver box and the J box right here. It does have the white trim, or as I showed you earlier, it does have that magnetic trim that you can get. This one is black. That's the other option. This is also TAA compliant. So if you're working on any government jobs or anything like that, we have you covered. And it is also wet location too. So it's wet rated as well. So those are some of the key selling features of that particular one. The next one up is the MicroDisc that features Blaze Guard. And I know it features Blaze Guard because it has that red back. And what that means is that it's flame resistant. And so it helps ensure that flames won't spread in case there is a fire. This does meet UL 263. This one does come in multiple sizes as well, 3 inches up to 8 inches. This one does have a fixed wattage, but it does also feature the 5 CCT selectability. And it is also TAA compliant. So that's another really good one to kind of keep in mind. A lot of fire marshals like this one, as you can imagine. The next one up is the RT6A. And this one here is available in 4, 6, and 8 inches. It is wattage and CCT selectable. What you don't see here is the J box, but you can see it here in the image. I just don't have it attached right now. You can kind of see the selector switches for the wattage and the CCT selectability. This one is available in 120 to 347 and also a 120 volt option only. It also has a field installable EMBB, emergency battery backup. It also has the white trim. Also the white trim with the semi-specular reflector is actually what it ships with. So it ships with this one right here. It's not quite as shiny, but you do have the option of the white or the specular one as well. And again, it just magnetizes itself directly, easy if you want to change these out. So also, the way I understand too, and I could be totally wrong here, but I think it also comes with a protective covering because you don't want to get your fingerprints all inside here. So to be able to have it shipped with a protective covering is also kind of handy. All right, so that is the RT6A. Now we're going to switch over to the gimbals. This is still canless style. So with the gimbals, you basically have the option for a black housing or a white housing. You also have a couple of different sizes, 3-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch. So again, what I mentioned about the gimbal is that has that adjustable eye. And what's kind of neat about this is a 45-degree beam angle and a 90-degree tilt lens. So that makes it super versatile, no matter what you're trying to light up on the side of your wall. And again, couple different sizes as well as the black or white trim housing too. So that's what's kind of cool about that. Again, I don't have the J box and the driver attached to it, but it's very similar to all the other ones that I've shown you so far. Then we have, of course, the LED downlight retrofit solutions. Now, these are all going to fit into the existing cans that are 4-inch, 5-inch, or 6-inch. As we look at this side-by-side comparison, the first one really stands out because it's the only one that's offered in that gimbal style. This one does have 110-degree adjustability, field adjustability. Okay, so you can do it underneath the luminaire or using the back of it, but most people would just use their hands to position that light where you want it. Okay, so that's the first one. The RTA6 and the RTA7 is more of your basic offering since it's only available in fixed wattage and static CCT. However, it does have the option of that smooth baffle or the more rough baffle. These, of course, are actually the next two, the RTs. So the RT1A, which is this one, this is basically kind of an upgrade to the fixed wattage, but it is CCT selectable and wattage selectable. So you've got that option on the back here. And then, of course, the 1AS is just another upgrade, and it is offered in also the selectable CCT and wattage selectable. So you've got a couple of different options for that. So one of them is only fixed wattage. with the selectable CCT. The other one is both. So you can choose which one you like and which one works the best for you. The other thing that will mention on these is they all have the ability to change trims. So what happens here, this happens to be a nickel trim. It just goes on like so. And then you take these little clips and you press them down to get them to hold on to the fixture. So that's that one. All right. So that takes care of all of our retrofits. So these are all going to go into a can that has a screw in medium base, and they are all going to go right up inside there. As if you were replacing the lamp, you just got to take out the trim and the baffle, and then you put it in. Okay. So these last four are pretty cool because they offer universal installation. So that means they come with accessories required to be installed in a retrofit situation, a new construction, or a direct wire application. So let's quickly break these down. So the first one is the LED MD, sorry, looks like something like this. There's also this one too. These two, you can tell here, this one has the clip on it, but what's cool is that it also comes with a screw and base E26 adapter. So it can be used in recessed cans, or it can be used in a hardwire in canless installations, which is super cool. The other thing that's really neat about this product is it features true wave technology. And true wave basically takes 50% of the blue light and reduces it. So it reduces the blue light by 50%. This allows people to fall asleep easier. It also can reduce headaches, eye strain, and it also helps boost the mood and productivity. The other thing that I'll mention about this product too is it does have 5 CCT selectable options too. So you probably have seen this by now. A lot of our downlights do feature that 5 CCT selectability, which is pretty nice to be able to have that versatility. Less products to stock, less products that contractors have to have floating around on their truck as well. All right, so next up is the LED Slim Microdisc. And this is, again, a direct installation requiring no housing or can, or it can be direct hardwired installation too. And again, if it is going to be put into an existing housing, it will come with the components to be able to make that happen. All right. Makes it really easy to put this into multiple different applications. And you can even do a direct to a J box too. And you can see that piece, this bracket in here, is what allows you to connect it directly to a J box. So basically 3 different ways that this thing can install. Also, it does have the 5 CCT selectable options, and it features that true wave technology, just like the previous one. This one here is the LED SLM, the Slim. This is a retrofit or direct wire, multiple sizes from 5-inch all the way up to 12-inch. It also has that 5 CCT selectable options as well. And this one here is the basic contractor entry-level downlight. It can be used in a retrofit or direct wired situation. It does have that 5 CCT selectability, but because this is kind of more your basic contractor friendly product, it is also available in a fixed 3000K as well, because we do realize that a lot of contractors don't necessarily care to have the 5 CCT selectable options. So we give you the option of 3000K on if you want it. All right, so that does it for LED downlights. For feedback on this presentation, certainly reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, I'm Lynette Schaefer. You can also please scan the QR code on the right-hand side of the screen that you see here. That will allow you to not only take a little quiz, but it will also give you your certificate of completion. So thank you again for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video.